But let's get on to the personal statements. What do you need to do for these different schools? What are the differences between the two personal statements? Everybody reads the US Common Application. Everybody reads the UCAS personal statement. They're roughly the same amount of words, okay? 650 words versus 4,000 characters. The first difference that you're going to see is that you can actually choose your question for the US. There are 7 different options every year, and you can kind of break down and pick the question that fits you best or you feel is the easiest to write about. Versus the UCAS, there's only that one personal statement prompt where you have to talk about yourself. That's it. There's really not a lot of options there. The tough part is right here, the supplementary essays. So depending on which schools you apply to, there can be 1 to 10 extra supplemental essay questions involved. One of the toughest ones is Yale. Yale is famous for having a lot of supplemental essay questions where they'll ask you, why do you want to go to Yale? What have you been reading lately? What kind of media do you listen to or watch? If you were a professor at Yale, what would the name of your course be called? And a million little things like this. So this does take a significant amount of time. A lot of students try to finish up their personal statement, first because it's just so fast. You can finish the personal statement in, a week or two, depending on how you feel. Whereas this could actually take several weeks, if not several months, depending on what schools you're applying to, how many schools you're applying to. So here's the common application. These are the 7 questions, just to give you an idea of what those questions actually mean. These are not the real questions, guys. The real questions, if you go online to the collegeapp.org, commonapp.org, you'll get all of the different real questions, but these are breakdowns of what they basically mean. So in other words, everything from, do you have a good story? Have you had a significant moment of growth? Has there been a major obstacle you've overcome? And you can try to choose the best question that fits you. Even if none of these questions fit you, you can actually choose anything you want for number 7, literally anything. Students have been known to write a 650-word poem or things like this. So there really is a lot of freedom in this one for the U.S. side. Let's see one of these. Yeah, okay. So this is an essay that was successful for Johns Hopkins University, which is a really excellent university out of Maryland. And if you guys take a quick look, I hope you can see it all right, but if you take a quick look at the bold words and how this is phrased, you can kind of get an idea of the language, the style that these university U.S. admissions officers are looking for. Legends, lore, and comic books all feature mystical, beautiful beings and superheroes, outspoken, powerful Greek goddesses, outspoken Chinese maidens, outspoken blade-wielding women. I soared the skies with my angel wings, battled demons with katanas. It's like a movie, okay? It's like a scene from a movie. It's like a television episode. It's dramatic, okay? It's captivating. It's entertaining. It's descriptive. It's visual, okay? So this is the way that the U.S. is sort of expecting students to be able to discuss and describe and answer those questions in a very imaginative, creative sense. If you just look at the structure of these sorts of things, right? We have a nice long paragraph here versus, one sentence in a paragraph there, and it really gets casual. It really becomes informal for what you want to do in your U.S. Common Application. And so if you submit to them something, like an essay with an introduction and a body and a conclusion, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. They really want something descriptive, fun, captivating. Versus the UK side. So the UCAS, they don't have a sense of humor. Okay, so it's it's a little stereotypical. I know if you've ever seen those Downton Abbeys and those sort of TV shows, but they want to keep it very formal. They want you to be prim and proper and show them exactly why you deserve a position in this university. And you really want to relate everything about you, about yourself, your life, your interests, to your subject. Okay. For a lot of students, this can be a major issue because, again, if you're preparing for university, how old are you? You're 16, 17, 18. This is, you're starting off, adulthood. This is still the beginning of your life in many ways. So are you going to have a long list of major accomplishments related to biochemical engineering? Maybe not, right? But that can be shown in other ways. What are you reading about these days, right? Are you following any sort of industry experts who do TED Talks, who do podcasts? Have you met with any local people in that field, right? Have you chosen your A levels or your IBDP classes based on this subject, right? So there are other ways. There are a lot of different ways to sort of show your enthusiasm, your interest with the subject without having a full-time job because you're still a student, okay? But that's the idea, and I'll show you a quick example of this one, how this looks for you guys. Geography. Geography is the study of the world. And as geographers, we hold the keys to the world's problems. Geography encompasses many things from natural disasters, ecosystems, to globalization and development, all of which are blah, 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 blah. You can see how this goes. And in those bold words, you can see different sort of accomplishments. I am a member of the Royal Geographical Society, right? This sort of language, these sorts of accomplishments, they really want you to talk about subject-specific content in your life as much as possible. So it is tough. I do meet a lot of students who say, I want to study law. Okay, great. Tell me about why do you want to study law? My mom told me to. I don't know. My dad told me. Oh, okay, all right. Well, have you done anything to prepare for this? What subjects are you taking in school? What are you reading? These sorts of things. I don't know. Nothing. Okay. That's when it does get tough. That's when it does get tough. And I would say to everybody, just start as soon as you can. Try to start reading things that interest you. Go on Amazon, buy some books, and just be able to mention a couple of authors. Look at your university. If you want to apply to King's College, if you want to apply to Oxford, you can go in and look at the course descriptions. Before I applied to the UK, I emailed the professors and asked them for reading recommendations. And that's a great way to make your name known, first of all, if you're emailing the professors asking for reading recommendations. But then also you can prepare and include some key words, some key content or themes into your personal statement and talk about geography or talk about law or whatever it is in a more professional, mature kind of way. Don't be cliche. A couple of key phrases just to avoid. I know this is highly specific, but I have always been passionate about. I see that all the time. It just kills me. I've always been passionate about law. I remember on my 3rd birthday, I went to a court case. No, it's just unbelievable. Nobody really sort of believes this sort of thing. Just again, as I mentioned earlier about finding your own voice, finding your confidence. It's better to speak naturally, more normally, without stealing these sorts of key phrases that everybody uses. So try as much as possible to avoid those things in your personal statement. And the goal is always to have a lot of confidence, making sure that you can complete these applications, but also be yourself. A lot of people go into the application process thinking that they need to be somebody. So they need to create a fake character, a fake persona, and give the universities what they're looking for, right? The problem with that is the universities can smell a fake. The universities can kind of, through the personal statements and these sorts of things, understand that you're just writing the same cliched stuff that gets repeated every single year. So one of the most important things for students and for parents as well is to really get to know yourself, take a look in the mirror, and make sure that your voice does show up on those applications, because reading a stack of applications, and I do these things every year, it's really sad how often you hear some of the same phrases, the same responses to questions over and over and over again. And if you can just breathe, calm down, relax, and just be yourself, it sounds so much better on paper. And the universities are much more likely to actually give you a chance, give you an interview, and allow you to study at that university.